Hey everybody, welcome to BITV. This is Amy from Three Girls in a Kiln here in Grand Cayman in the Cayman Islands. I'm so happy to be here with you today. We're gonna have a little chat about our art to-go bags that we do here in our studio in Cayman. And just to give you a little background, Three Girls in a Kiln started with just the three of us 8 years ago. We were just selling our little pots out at every craft fair possible. And eventually it grew into us working with bisqueware, finishware. We do a lot of finishware, and then we opened up our first physical shop in 2017 where we were selling our finishware, but also offering classes and projects and customized wear. And then eventually we grew into a larger space where people could come in and do drop-ins and make their own pieces, take our classes. We also do board work, wooden signs, and the like. So happy. If you guys are here, give me a shout. Tell me where you're from. We're really happy to be here in the Caribbean. The sun is shining, and it is a beautiful day out. We have been in quarantine now since the 24th of March. So it's been a really long time for us. We had to close our shop per the government's mandate. So we've all been sheltering at home, as obviously our business is not an essential business. And we were given about a week's notice from the time that kids were home from school till they completely shut the entire island down. They closed our borders, so we have nobody coming in. And they've also put us on a hard lockdown. So we're on an alphabet system where we can only leave the house on certain days of the week. So this has proven to be a big challenge for our little business. We can no longer interact with our customers, which we miss so much. And we also can't give out product or do deliveries. So we had a small window when the students or the children were not going to public school or private school anymore. And we took an opportunity to be like, hey, moms, dads, let's help you out. We know that you're working from home and the kids are home from school, and that is super challenging, especially if you are working full-time from home while also having to homeschool your children. Now, just a little background, out of the three of us, Deborah and I are both former public school art teachers. I had been a teacher for 10 years. Deborah had also been a public school teacher for 8 years. And the third, Claire, who's joining with us today, is a graphic designer. So Deborah and I have this art background, and we knew that we wanted to provide a form of art education to the parents, because just like I'm not really sure how to handle the math problems that my son has, I'm not sure that an accountant would know how to handle art education. So we wanted to make sure that we were giving parents the tools that they needed to not just be here's a piece of ceramic and a paintbrush and some paint. We wanted to provide them with more than that. And so we created our art bags. So this is one of our art bags here. And sorry, that's my husband. You can see I'm working from home. These are our art bags. We have them with our logo here on the front. And then we also have a tag here that tells the contents of the bag. So we did this for two reasons. One, before we closed the shop down, parents could come in and they could see the bags, the cost of the bags, and what was in the bags. And I'm not going to be listing a whole lot of pricing and what our profit margins are, only because we are on a different currency than the US. And so it's just a lot of computing from our currency to the US currency and back and forth again. And so it'd be a lot, sorry, my fan was on. It would be a lot harder for me to be like, well, this is what we pay, but this is what we make. So I'm just going to talk about the things that are in it. And obviously you're going to do what's best for you and your studio and what profit margins work for you. So this tag, like I was saying, proves great because it tells you what's in it along with a picture of the ceramic item. And this is going to become really important because then they're not digging through the bag. They are like, oh, it's a love tile. It's a small art project. It costs this much. And here are the things that are listed. This is also super helpful when you're putting your bags together because if I didn't check this every time, I would forget to put in like pencil crayons or whatever. So this is a big help too, especially if you have people helping you package and it's not just you or your staff. If you have volunteers helping you, then this is a really great tool to be like, did I get everything that's supposed to go in the bag? Okay, so that's too cool. And then we also tie all the bags when we know that everything is in there. So let's kind of take a look at what we have in our art kits. So there's our thing. You can see here on the tag. Okay, this is our small art project bag. We decided to go with small, large, and adult. And there's not much difference between the small and large bag other than the size of the ceramic piece. And our adult bags are a larger item with a little treat in it. So we wanted to make sure we could distinguish price-wise and also what the items were. And that's gonna be up to you. If you have a bunch of stuff, get rid of it. I know a lot of people do mystery bags. We decided to go with exactly what's in there, and then we're gonna prompt the art education in just a moment. So let's see what's in our bag. Inside our bag, we have some sheets here, which I'll go over in a second. And then we have our Bisque Imports turtle bank, okay? It's not there. Now we made the choice to not do any fired products, and that worked out really well for us because as we ended up closing, nobody can bring it, and we're talking now 6 weeks, where if a child had glazed this, dust and all that stuff that you don't want to put in the kiln would have happened. So we decided to use the acrylic paint, and we had a lot of acrylic paint because we do the wood signs. And so we said, let's use what we have. Let's put to use what we have. And we're really glad we did. That also then meant that we chose to put items in our bags that were not going to have food. So we didn't put any mugs or dishes. Because we were using acrylic, we didn't want to encourage anyone to put food in it. So we went to things like banks and figurines. We did choose some smaller dishes and encourage people to use them as ring dishes or coins or whatever, just not to put food or to put wrapped food in if they wanted to put some treats in there, okay? So as you can see, this is the bank, and right there is a picture of the bank. So they know exactly what they're getting. It looks just like it, and that's in there. Also in our project bags, and this is why we don't just call them art to go, we call them project bags, because we have a lot of fun things in them. We've got acrylic paint. We decided to go with 5 colors. We have the 3 primaries, so red, yellow, and blue, and black and white. Now, I think I threw in a green in there because it was a turtle, so you can kind of play around and decide, like if you're doing a horse figurine, maybe you also add brown because brown is really hard to mix. So you may want to add a light and dark brown. With the turtle, we decided they could definitely make green from yellow and blue, but it might be a dark green, so we were just offering an extra green to kind of add to the turtle. If you guys have any questions during this, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I'm happy to answer anything that you might have. Also note that I know some of the BI team is on here to answer your questions about products, and also my 2 counterparts, Deborah and Claire, are also on Instagram and Facebook to answer any questions you might have. All right, so we've got paint in our bag, and we also have paintbrushes. We gave 2 paintbrushes in the kids' bags. We tried to do a big paintbrush and a little paintbrush, especially if they were covering a larger item. We also have crayons, and we have some Play-Doh. And this was something that when we thought about those parents at home, we didn't want to just give them one project, because younger kids will just fling paint on something and be like, I'm done. We know this from all of our birthday parties we do. So we decided to make this extend so that parents could sit their kids down and actually get some work done while the kids had plenty to do. Okay, let's see. Joey asked, where did you get your paint containers? That's a really great question. So something I should explain, here in Grand Cayman, we don't get Amazon, and we don't get anything next day or 2 day. So we, as we are also a plastic free island, or we are reduced our plastic use, our studio committed to not using plastic. So it was really hard for us to go, okay, now we need things to put paint in and we have to use plastic. So I'll talk about how we also went around that. But these were from a food supply store, so a restaurant supply store, we were able to get these smaller containers. You can see the difference in sizes here. So this is the size of the paint container we give, and this is the size of the Play-Doh. And with the Play-Doh, we went and bought a large batch of Play-Doh and then cut them up into smaller portions. This will stretch your budget as well. And then we put them into the containers, and that gives them just a little bit. I mean, we're talking about something extra to do as an extension to the art project of painting the ceramic. So that's the Play-Doh that we have in there, and then that's the size of the paint. Hi, Valerie. So who else is there? Oh, Amy. Hi, Amy. I love that Amy spells her name slightly different, just like mine. I think that's how I found her on Instagram, and I really love all the stuff she's doing. So if you guys haven't checked out Amy, all please go ahead and do that. And then crayons, again, another thing that we bought in bulk, and then we separated and we tied up. Now, we originally had bought some off of Oriental Trader, so we bought them in mass quantities, and then we ran out. So we went to like the local dollar store and we bought large packets of crayons, and then we packaged them into smaller, they also get 5 crayons. So those are the things in the bag. We've got a ceramic project, we got some papers I'm gonna go over in a second, we have some modeling clay or Play-Doh, we have paint, we have crayons, we have paintbrushes, we have everything you need to have a nice, fun art time. We also give a little mystery, and that mystery changes every week or when we run out. We have all different things. That could be anything from stickers. It might be, we put some glow in the dark stars in there the other week. It might be temporary tattoos. It might be scented stickers. We just kind of throw in so that there's always something new and different in our art bags. Okay, so let's talk about the art education part, because we've already talked about all the fun stuff. Let's talk about the art education stuff. The papers that we decided to put in there, and I want to say that we've created a PDF that you can download off the BI site, and I'm sure that Savannah or DJ will put that link in here somewhere, but we've created a PDF so you can see all these samples up close and in person. The first thing that they'll see when they open up their bag is they're gonna see a color theory sheet. And in that color theory sheet, you're gonna see a color wheel and color mixing. This is part of art education. Whether you have a young child or an older child, whether they've had art education. I know a lot of schools in America do not offer art in the elementary schools. It's not till like maybe middle school or secondary school where they are going to see art. So maybe this is an opportunity to offer that to your younger kids. And what you'll see on that sheet is a color wheel, a traditional color wheel, and also mixing. And so that's because we wanted to limit the colors that we gave to force them to make it. So we didn't provide them with pink or purple or orange or green, because now they can take a little bit of paint on here and they can mix them. So now they're talking about color theory, and they're mixing those colors and they're learning and they're seeing how when I add a little bit of yellow with a little bit of blue, I'm gonna get green. And if I add a little white, it's gonna lighten all those colors. So that's where we brought the color theory in. So it doesn't take a lot of paint on these. And this is just, you know, a basic color mixing sheet. So that's really fun. And watching the parents send us photos of the kids actually doing the color theory is like, as an art teacher, like, yes, they're getting it, that's great. Okay, also in our bag, we then have a 2-sided sheet. So I should note that this is on cardstock. We decided anything that they were gonna put paint on should be in cardstock. And that's just because it's gonna be a lot more durable when you're putting something wet or wet paintbrushes on something, then it's going to be on a thicker type of paper, okay? On a little bit of thinner paper and double-sided is going to be the next step. As art educators, we really try to get the kids to think outside the box, and instead of immediately just throwing paint on it, let's have a think about it. We draw sketches out as artists, we practice. So we're giving the kids an opportunity to practice before they put it on there, especially because they're using acrylic and it's not as forgiving as glaze. You can't just like sand it off or wash it off. So here's where the crayons come in handy, is that we've drawn out the picture of our object, and then it says, use this sheet to practice your design choices before painting your ceramic piece. So this gives them 2 opportunities. Maybe they thought they wanted a green turtle with brown spots, but then they're like, no, I'm gonna change it up and I want a brown turtle with green spots. It's completely up to you. So there's 2 options for them to practice before they do their final piece. And that is just kind of implying the art education into it, something we would already do in the classroom. And it also extends it. So maybe you have a couple minutes and you sit down and the kids are bored, especially if they're younger kids. They're like, I've done this, I'm done with art. And then later in the day, you can bring this back out and be like, hey, paint this. So I think that it gives an extension. Also, on the back of the sheet, we now have what we as teachers called extension activities. And that does a couple things. For your older kids, it says use the internet to find the answers to questions on here. This one, because it's turtles, is all about turtles. How long can a sea turtle hold its breath? What's the largest type of turtle? What do they eat? Where do you find them? So now they've got the turtle and they've got the education. And so you've really kind of expanded that. And I think that the feedback we're getting from parents is that this isn't just a throw paint on something and we're never going to use it again. They're going to see this turtle and be like, oh, now I know what sea turtles eat. And this is really cool. So I think that that kind of gives you a little bit more. We also have down here, because I had mentioned before that we try to be plastic free, that we were really sad about all of the plastic that we were using. And so we have come up with a couple of ideas on ways to reuse these pods. So you can wash them and clean them and return them and use them. So when the shop was open, we did have some parents who went through a project, came and got a second project, and they brought these to us empty and we could refill them. That cuts down on our costs and it also helps reuse it. So this does not become a single-use plastic. It's now been reused. Okay, what else? You can use them for seed starters. So this is great too, because now you can put a little soil and you can put a seed in it, and these are great little seed starters. So again, not a single-use plastic. You can make frozen herbs. That's always fun. Parents, you can make frozen herbs. Or you can use these as stamps. You can use them as stencils to make perfect circles. Now you have different size circles. Or with the leftover paint, they can dip these in the paint and they can make stamps, which is really great for the younger kids because it allows them to hold on to something and stamp. So our single-use plastic has just become multi-use plastic, and we don't feel so bad about putting all the plastic into the bag. All right, so then the last thing that we also offer is a coloring sheet. Deborah, one of my colleagues, she is an illustrator and she has a beautiful coloring book out that we sell in the shop that she has published. And so we use her drawings in the bags. And so now they've got a whole project. This is an art project bag. They've got ceramic project, Play-Doh, coloring sheets, art education, all in one. And I think that that's really what has sold the parents on wanting to get these art kits. We do use Etsy as our shop, so we have all of our art bags listed by picture and by topic, so that people can go on, they can buy it, we can see what our inventory is. And this is really, really helpful, so that we can be like, all right, how many turtles do we have left? And use what you have in the studio. I've got 7 turtles. I can go on my inventory, and I'm sure you can do this on Shopify or whatever online store you're using. And then you can keep track of your inventory so that no one is disappointed when they've requested a turtle and you don't have any turtles. So that's the small art bag. It's pretty exciting. It actually makes me go, ooh, I want to do this now. And then I'm just going to talk quickly about our large and our adult bags. Our large bag is just a larger item, and that just means that we made a decision between what we consider small and what we consider large per the price point. Another thing we've done to bring the community together is that we have offered one of our art bags at a higher price, a smaller, but we're going to be giving a proceed of the donations to that. And that program is called NCBO. That helps us out with women and children. And so with our small, I believe it's a love bank, and I can't think of the Bisque Imports number right now, but it's a love bank. So with that, we made it at the larger bag, a larger art project. So they're paying $5 more for the larger bag, but that donation is going to go straight to NCVO. So that's a great way to bring all of the community together, knowing that we are doing things to help them out as well. So that might be something you can consider. I'm sure that you're all hit up with donations and how can you guys help out. You can always take a smaller price point bag, make it at a higher price point, and then give some of that back into the community. So just checking to read any questions that you guys might have. Oh, it says you guys are having some sort of video problems. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on. Oh. I'm running on Instagram and Facebook? Oh no. Guys, I'm just checking all these things. I'm so sorry. Okay, maybe I should end the live Facebook and we should continue on Instagram. So sorry. Okay, here we are. Oh, okay. I'm gonna continue with you guys on Instagram. I'm hoping we can pull the video. I'm so sorry. I'm just reading all the messages saying that there was technical difficulty. I really hope you could hear all the fun stuff I was saying. So sorry about that. All right, so we talked about small bags, large. So now our adult bags, which are really fun because now we can do the larger art bags with more of a more difficult project. So for instance, where we had something so small as the turtle, we would do something larger like this. This is going to be the piggy banks with the gumball machine. We did larger items for adults. We did plaques, we did home signs, we did a project that could really have been a little harder for kids to do. Somebody asked me to recap real quick. I will recap that. We are offering small and large art bags, and then with the adult bags, we offer probably a harder piece I would consider, or something that takes a little bit more time. Also with our adult bags, we don't offer the art education, so the adult bags are not going to have the color theory sheet or the practice because they're adults. But we do offer the same thing in the adult bags as we offer paint. Instead of 5 colors, we offer 8 colors for the adults. We also offer the Play-Doh, and instead of crayons, we do pencil crayons, which we were able to get in packs from Oriental Trader. And we did pencil crayons for the adults instead of crayons. And then something that had been mentioned previously is that this is not something we sell, but we figured there are parents and they are home with their kids. And so as an option for all of our adult bags, we also have adult beverages. We were offering a wine and a beer option, and these were donated to us. The beer was donated to us. So we don't have a liquor license, therefore we cannot sell liquor, but we can give it as a complimentary gift. So the beer was donated to us by our local brewing company, Cayman Islands Brewery. Whoop, whoop, we love them. They donate a lot for our classes. And the wine was donated through another provider. And so we're not selling it, but we are including it with purchase. And yeah, and the parents really love that. Not everyone takes us up on that, but it was something that had to be collected at the store. So we knew we were giving it to an adult. It's not something that can be done for delivery. It has to be done through curbside pickup. Okay. Also in the adult bag, something different is that we don't offer the mixing sheet. We do offer an adult coloring sheet, which is going to be a little more intricate and a lot more fun. I find this really great at the end of the day to wind down and to color in at nighttime. And so we thought the adults would love that as well. Now, if you're saying to me, Aimee, I'm not a drawer, I'm a ceramicist, because I totally get that. I was a ceramics major in college. I would get passing grades in my drawing class, but I'm very lucky to have my business partners be graphic designers and illustrators. So if you don't have that, one suggestion I can make is to purchase an adult coloring book. and then kind of rip out the sheets and put those into the bags. And that just kind of helps out those folks that don't have the drawing down. So to recap, for those of you that might have switched over from Facebook because I had technical difficulties, is that we offer a small project bag where we put a label on the outside so we know what's in it. We have a piece of ceramic from Bisque Imports. We have acrylics, which you can also get on Bisque Imports. We have paintbrushes, crayons, Play-Doh, and a mystery. These stickers are turtles because it's a turtle. We also in our art bags have our art education sheets, which is going to be our color theory, our practice what you're gonna paint, along with extension questions about turtles. Let's say, for instance, it's not a turtle, it's a horse. The questions are going to be about a horse. If it's a love bank, the questions are going to be about an artist named Brito who does love paintings. So even though you may not have an animal and you may have an inanimate object, it might be fun, especially like Bisque Man. If you are going to put Bisque Man in there, you might have questions about superheroes, or if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? So there's always a way to find extension work with whatever ceramic piece you've put in there. And then at last, a coloring sheet that has to correspond with that. So there is a theme going on. There's a lot of art education going in on that too. And that's something that we have found super success in. I just want to recap. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. There are so many ways to promote this. We used social media to promote. So we have a Facebook and Instagram at 3 Girls in a Kiln. And we use those platforms. We also have a YouTube channel. So when we brought a new product as the bags and we had to do it in a 48-hour turnaround, we hopped on our YouTube channel, we made a video, we explained what was in the bags very similarly to what I've done with you today, but on a smaller scale. And we really pushed it out and people were really responsive to it. So we're kind of excited that this opportunity has come to us because it's something we've been wanting to do for a while. We never did to-go kits. And we feel like after this is something that we will be able to move on with in the future. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Working from home, not in the studio. I miss our studio so much. I cannot wait to get back. Now, some other ideas that you can do besides ceramics, because you may have either run out, you can't get supplies in, you're working with what you got. We had decided that we would launch the bags weekly. So we have our ceramics bag. We're also going to be launching canvases or drawn canvas. So you can do a pre-drawn canvas. You can also do wood signs. That's something that we do in our studio. So we have all the supplies for wood signs. So it's something that we'll do. And if you have any questions about how to do wood signs to go, you can shoot us a message and I'll be happy to chat with you about that. And then mosaics. Bisque Imports offers a lot of great resources as far as mosaic supplies. And so mosaics, along with some really nice instructions, would make for a great bag. So I know that Bisque Imports has been doing their own to-go kits and they're offering those for you so you don't even have to think about it. So if you're like, this is a great idea, it's a lot of work, then you can always get Bisque Imports pre-made to-go kits and just add the art education into it. So somebody asked me about the paper. I mentioned this earlier, but the paper we use that paint goes on is a cardstock versus regular printer paper, because anytime you're using something wet, you want to make sure you have a thicker piece of paper. And then our coloring sheets are just on regular paper. We had these printed at the local printer because we got a better deal printing a whole bunch, but you could also print those in your studio. Let's see, what does pre-drawn canvas look like? Just curious on patterns. Okay, so I would say that we have silk screened our previously drawn pictures. So I know that Bisque Imports offers a lot of silk screens. Your canvas in your to-goes do not have to be big. I mean, we are not doing Picasso up here, okay? You can definitely offer a smaller canvas, and then you can take some of the Bisque Imports silk screens, instead of using silk screen medium with your glaze, you can use acrylic paint because it's nice and thick, through a silk screen, and you can get a pre-drawn picture. You let it dry, and then when they get that out of their kit, they can paint it in. Some studios will do pencil, some will do Sharpie. It could be really any design. Unicorns are popular, turtles, a beach scene. It's really limited list to what you can put on your canvases. You just need it pre-drawn and ready to dry before they take it. Please send me info about the to-go. Yes. Okay, so as I said before, I've created a PDF with all of this content that you can download off of Bisque Imports. I'm sure that they will post the link to that so that you can download our samples. Obviously, they're just samples, but you can take a look up and close what we include in our bags so that you can make your own and get ideas from there. Other than that, I don't have much more to tell you. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. That really makes my heart hurt just a little bit. I hope I wasn't hurting anybody's ears that was watching on Facebook. But I want to thank Bisque Imports for this amazing opportunity. If you have any questions, I will try to go back into the comments and answer them for you. And other than that, it's been so nice to chat with you. Greetings from the Caribbean. We hope you're all staying well and safe. We love our Bisque Imports family, and we hope during this time we can all support each other during this. Also, stay tuned. Bisque Imports is going to be dropping something big today. You need to watch out. They got a huge announcement coming up. They wanted me to tell you that they are just going to give you something great. So have a wonderful day. The weekend's coming. I know it doesn't really matter these days, but thanks for watching, and we'll check you guys later. Bye.